Alright, back to the clown. He stripped the covering off. The firewall took care of itself. I'm just going to get in there and clean out that white glue. Fix this up a little bit, get it flush. I'll try not to sand that too much. This tends to unflatten things. Got a new birch plywood mount ready to go. Just gotta drill it. I'm gonna drill a hole in between each mount hole here, and that'll help cool a little bit. There's the old one. You can see where I drilled new holes to go around the holes that are there for the Brodak motor. So we'll get some drilling done and glue this bugger on. There, done. Looks a little prettier than that one. I'm just going to drill a couple of holes in between these now, and that'll give me a little bit of cooling for the motor. Okay, drilled 2 cooling holes. I think that's all I'm going to bother with. Yeah, we'll see. And I drilled out the 4 motor mount holes, and I got them tapered a bit because of these screws. Taper head. So of course you just use an bigger drill bit to do that matches the size of the head. And I'll give it a little sanding and go on to the next step. Tidying up the nose a bit. Okay, get the epoxy on her. Got my centers all marked up, so it's time to put this on. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of meat there. So once that epoxy dries, I'll probably put another bead inside after I make sure it'll clear the motor, just to give it a nice gusset in there. The 30-minute epoxy dry, and take it from there. Got my new engine mount on, motor mount on I should say. Put a couple of filler pieces in here. It's pretty much epoxied on. A pretty narrow surface that was there. I just CA'd these filler blocks in here. So on the inside, I'm going to, I'll scruff it up a little more maybe. Not quite sure what I'm going to do there. I'm either going to epoxy gusset, or I might even go with the nylon inside to beef that up. But I'm going to get this all, I already started sanding a little bit, but I'll get this all sanded so it's got the same taper on it. That ply is six layers, so good and strong. It's only as strong as a joint. And got this 3/4 inch nylon tape I'll glue on to make sure that sucker don't come off again. So I'll get busy and get sanding. Alright, I got my nylon CA'd. I just use CA instead of epoxy. It'll keep popping up otherwise. So I use medium CA to tack it down. And I went over it again, rubbed it through. Of course, folded it over. The stuff stretched quite well. So I got it around the corner. Cut here, and another one there. And that's it. That's all I had to do. The rest of it just stretched around. Any lumps that were left, I just sand off, wick some CA in, sand it off a little more, wick some CA in, until I was down almost flush. So that's done. And just for the hell of it, I went in the inside. Got a decent glue gusset going around the whole joint there. So, and again, I used medium CA for that. Hopefully that should hold it. I glomped onto it and gave it a pretty good yank there. wriggled it and stuff, and it didn't even budge, didn't make any indication at all of letting go, so I'm confident that'll work. And this is how we used to do the old 049 firewalls and the half-A profiles. Of course, you just had your triangle stock hardwood or plywood firewall, and then you just go over it with the nylon just to make sure the firewall didn't part company. And that's the same idea here. So I put this red trim here because the piece they gave you to fill the gap wasn't wide enough. The whole thing was oversized. So I put the red trim here to cover it. Looks like I'll bring red trim down into the leading edge of the wing and pretty much match up on it. And I might even use that covering to fill in this, or cover this glue joint. Anyway, we'll get the covering out and get that looking somewhat pretty. Well, didn't have a matching color for this, but I used the same covering on the tail, so I just kept going. Made a nice red stripe leading into the wing. I guess I could keep going here, but I'm just not all that sure of this plane yet. Spent too much time on her. So she's all covered up. Oh, I missed a spot. Will be when I finish that. I'll stick it back together. There, that's better. It's kind of taking on a bit of a shoestring look, hasn't it? There, we'll stick the motor in. And she's ready to rock and roll again. Well, now it's finished. Kind of did the red stripe on both sides. And it was kind of bugging me. So I was going to change the prop to a 9.4.5 or something like they recommend, and you think I can find it. So it's got a 9.5 on it anyway. And it was going like stink with that. It's just a matter of turning the idle down. But there she is. Ready to roll one more time. This time, I'm sure the firewall will stay put.